Through the second half of the last century, China has had undeniably explosive growth. Over the past 60 years, China's GDP has more than tripled. Its population has grown by more than 750 million people, more and more of whom are living in crowded cities. And fueling this explosive growth is equally rapidly increasing energy consumption. In 2009, China surpassed the United States as the world's largest consumer of energy, with an approximated 2.265 trillion tons of oil equivalents consumed. Over 3 trillion kilowatt hours went to power China's factories and homes that year. Amid these skyrocketing energy demands, as well as international environmental pacts on carbon emissions and desire for energy independence, China has turned its attention to renewable energy. In 2005, the National People's Congress issued a law called the Renewable Energy Law, which set the precedent for the country's commitment to developing its alternative energy sector. Over the next several years, 20 more laws and amendments were issued in various government departments, all enforcing and improving on the policies outlined in the Renewable Energy Law. These laws took two general approaches to supporting the alternative energy industry. Some sought to ensure a market for companies generating renewable energy, while others funded the construction of new alternative energy developments, making the market easier to enter. In this first category lay laws determining the prices for electricity generated by renewable sources. The government sets these prices to cover operating costs as well as giving a reasonable profit margin. These prices, however, are greater than prices for traditional energy sources. In order to ensure alternative energy generators a market, the Renewable Energy Law includes a requirement for energy companies to purchase all grid-connected electricity generated from renewable sources. The law also stipulates that these companies help expand the grid to ensure access to all alternative energy developments. The companies are allowed to fund the fulfillment of these requirements by charging their customers, spreading the total costs across the nation. In the second category of laws, the Chinese government has dedicated an enormous amount of money to funding the construction of alternative energy projects. For example, in early 2006, the Ministry of Finance created the Renewable Energy Development Fund. This fund, financed with general tax revenue, supplies loans specifically for alternative energy projects, as well as grants for more public welfare-oriented and therefore less profitable developments. Also, in 2006 alone, the National Development and Reform Commission granted over 250 million yuan to 38 wind power, biomass, and solar power projects. The Chinese government has set up similar funds to support research and development for renewable energies. These funds have the stated goal of having all equipment for Chinese renewable energy projects manufactured in China under Chinese intellectual property rights by 2020. Altogether, these policies have had an enormous effect on the alternative energy industry's growth in China. Since 2005, when the Renewable Energy Law was passed, these sectors have skyrocketed, and this rate of growth continues today. At the end of 2010, China surpassed the US as the world leader in installed wind power capacity, with almost 42,000 megawatts, up from less than 2,000 megawatts only 5 years ago. Perhaps the most important effect of these laws has been increased interest in these projects from outside investors.
The U.S. company Applied Material, it's an American company, just built the world's largest solar energy research and development facility. Guess where they built it? China.
In late 2010, according to a report by major accounting firm Ernst & Young, China surpassed the US for #1 spot in the index of the most attractive countries for investment in renewable energy projects. These investments have helped grow China's renewable energy sector into a multi-billion-dollar, globally dominant industry. As the world turns to alternative energies for solutions to their growing energy needs, the global market for renewable energies will continue to expand. China has established its role as a leader and has set goals to continue to do so. The medium and long-term development plan has set goals to increase renewable energy capacities by tenfold by 2020, and given the industry's current growth rates, it will most likely exceed that goal. Through good policy making, China has not only benefited from the expansion of its own renewable energy sector, but has also positioned itself to manufacture equipment that will undoubtedly be in high demand in the near future.